What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And what doesn't make sense to me is why everybody's up in a tizzy over a comedian making jokes. I don't understand. Last I checked, that's what comedians do. They make jokes about everybody. When I was growing up, you think there were kids off limits? Huh? I don't care if you had a lazy eye. If you had a lazy eye, somebody would be talking about that lazy eye all day long. We had a kid that was disabled to a degree, had these short little arms, right? One of them kind of was like a knuckle, and the other one was kind of like this, But he was the first dude to want a cap on everybody. Do you think people spared him? No. He knew that he was vulnerable because of the arms, and the first thing guys went to is the arms. He jumped in the arena, he was cutting, he was cracking jokes. He wanted to be the life of the party. He was a comedian. He understood it's free game. I cannot say my arms is off limits, okay? You can talk about anything else, but my arms, while I fire off on you and just talk about everything I can come up with. So we let everybody have it. If you were out of shape, if you were fat, if you were too tall, too skinny, too whatever. You think I was spared? Huh? No. I was a little dark-skinned kid back in the 70s and 80s where dark skin wasn't in. Had a Jerry curl trying to mimic Michael Jackson, and my curl never took. After about 2 days, my curl was a mess. I mean, it looked like a scarecrow. Straight up. Curl never took. All it did was messed up a whole bunch of pillowcases. Yeah, man. Was short, built low to the ground, didn't grow for a while. You think I was spared? No. I got called everything under the sun. Because we were joking. It's called jokes. Comedians look at things in society and say, well, since everybody else is taking things so seriously, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lighten the mood, and I'm going to joke and talk about some things that maybe some people think of, and they just know it's not socially acceptable to say. So comedians get a pass, and no group should get a pass when it comes down to comedians cutting on you, which brings me to David Chappelle. Everybody's upset because he was joking about a lot of stuff. Now, I watched the special, and I cracked up. And I knew right at the point where he was going down this road, I said, oh, David, stop. Somebody get him, catch him. Oh, it's too late. He done got away, which he went right down the street of the LGBTQYZ to the -3 semicolon dot / -3 group. Now, when he did that, I'm like, oh, because for some reason, they're a protected class of people. Now, when it comes to jokes, ain't allowed to joke about them, you've gone too far. You've overstepped your boundaries. Now, when it comes down to the left, when they get cracked on, when anybody jokes about them, unfortunately, they feel that they have the right to boycott you. They have the right to, mess up your business. They have a right to dox you. They have a right to, if they could. Now, this is the scary part about this. If they could, if they got power, they would censor your speech. They would say, you can talk about this, and that, but we're a protected class of people, so you can't talk about that. Now, David Chappelle in his stand-up made a wonderful comparison. He was saying how when he did the Dave Chappelle show, he used the word, and I guess the people who look at the words you can use or you can't use on TV brought him into the office. He used the word that starts with an F. And he brought him into the office and said, David, you can't use this word on our network. And he says, okay, I didn't even think of a big deal. I can write it out of the skit. And he said, but I am curious. I use the word, the N word all the time in my skits. And you never say anything about that. And the lady replied, well, David, you can't use that word because you're not gay. And he says, well, so and so on. I use the N word and I'm not a N word. And the audience was like, good point. So I guess comedians can use that word constantly over and over again. They can really go in on Christians, the Pope. They can go in on the president easy. That might get them an Oscar or something like that. They start talking about him. You can talk about all of these groups. But for some reason, since a large portion of our media is controlled by, people who have that particular lifestyle, they gunning. They go right after you. They'll laugh and laugh and laugh. As soon as you say second, oh, wait a minute. Now you've gone too far. But I also find it strange that many gay people that I know joke and laugh about these words with each other. They'll call each other queer. They call each other the F word. And I can't say it here because, you know, YouTube, they'll censor it. They do all that stuff. They will bash each other and they'll joke. And for some reason, that's acceptable. But if anybody else jokes about them, they use this horrible word to describe that. Homophobia. And I'm thinking to myself, phobia means an unhealthy fear of something or irrational fear of something. And when David Chappelle was joking about people's sexuality, he didn't sound like he was afraid of them. It was a joke, okay? He didn't sit back and say, let's all condemn, go after these people, ban these people, persecute these people, because I'm afraid this is going to spread through our society. Or I'm afraid one of them going to touch me and give me that. You know, I'm sorry, people, being gay isn't contagious. You don't just touch somebody and they're like, oh my God, I don't know what just happened. Now I'm gay. No, don't work like that. So nobody's afraid of anything. Look, I get cracked on. A lot of people get cracked on. But because they're trying to make this so socially acceptable in our society, they're hypersensitive to anybody who remotely look like they're either going to joke about that community or does joke about that community. But they go one step further. You can't even disagree with people in that community without suffering criticism outside of joking. In fact, it's almost like they want you to absolutely agree, because just being neutral is not good enough either. You have to be on board with this agenda or else we're gunning for you. So if somebody shoves a mic in your face and asks you how you feel about it, you better shake your head like, I love it. It's great. I think it's a great movement. And, you know, but to be honest, the average person don't care. And that's what the LGBTQI, some double X2, -3 groups need to understand. They're not in danger anymore. Nobody fears those groups. Nobody cares. People simply care about what's going on in their life. And they're saying, look, man, every once in a while, let's have a break from all of the politics and the political correctness and joke and laugh. Now, what they're going to end up doing is making everybody watch the show. I know that's what made me watch it. As soon as I saw the headline, I was like, what? They mad at Dave. What did he say? Click it. So every time the left wants to boycott something, it backfires and people go, well, you know what? Either I'm curious to see what the problem is, or just because they're whining about it, I'm going to support it. They'll learn, or maybe they won't. Most likely they won't. Anyway, God bless you. Keep on doing what you're doing, Dave. I mean, shoot, some of the stuff he talks about when he, deals with politics, I don't like, but nonetheless, he's a comedian. So it is what it is. So suck it up, man. Get tough, all right? Some of them need a bully in their life. I'm telling you, man, I got bullied. They used to crack on me all the time. I had to eat that, but it made me a better man. All right, check me out every Wednesday night, 7:30 live in Kevin's Corner on YouTube and on my radio blog talk show. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and the notification button. Make sure you haven't been unsubscribed also. YouTube, man, YouTube. Anyway, so make sure you've been subscribed or not unsubscribed. But and follow me on Facebook and on the Twitter. And what else? Oh, if you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, feel free. There's a link in the bottom of this video to do that. And check out Extreme Tees, my sponsor. Put my name in the promo code. You'll get a 20% discount, Kevin. All right, God bless. See you next time in Kevin's Corner.